Right, so welcome back. So this is the pause. We've got some few minutes to go. Let's deal with a matter of also national importance. Personnel from the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, also known as NAIMOS, have begun an intensive operation to clear key forest reserves of illegal miners. Today, the team stormed the Desiree Forest Reserve in the Mankranso district of the Ashanti region. Well, 3 months ago, the Forestry Commission marked the Desiree Forest Reserve as a red zone heavily infiltrated by armed illegal gangs. Today, over 20 armed military officers moved in, burning and seizing mining excavator. Let me bring in the Media Relations Officer at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Parkwesi Shandoff. So, Shandoff, I mean, is it the start of what will eventually deal with the matter of illegal mining? And if you can unmute for me. Yes, I can hear you.
Right. So I was saying that to affirm your suspicions as well, the deployments that went to Desiree today is part of the revamped efforts by governments to deal decisively with the menace of illegal mining. Indeed, it is not only in Desiree that this massive deployment is ongoing. Let me quickly take you through where similar deployments have been made. So, for example, as we speak, there is also a related development in the western region, specifically along the Ankobra River. There is also another one going on simultaneously as we speak in the Inkaria Forest District. And for all of those, the military are heavily armed with a lot of numbers to ensure that those areas are well preserved. You would recall that somewhere yesterday, the Minister for Government Communication indicated that for all the 44 forest reserves which have been besieged and impacted, there's going to be full military deployment to those areas. So that's basically part of the revamped efforts by government to deal decisively with the menace of illegal mining across the country.
Right. So what are their marching orders?
The marching orders is simple, but of course, it is not shoot to kill. When they get to any endemic area like we have seen so far, all they are supposed to do is to effectively disband the operational outfits there, the illegal miners, then arrest them, and then prosecution will effectively begin. But there has been the concern that it is not sufficient to merely clear and then go back to the barracks. And that is why, as of now, after each episode of clearance, the military is mounting a stationed surveillance across all the 44 forest reserves that have been affected by illegal mining so that the illegal miners do not return. Because what we have observed is that a good number of them, if not all of them, are rather very recalcitrant and extremely obstinate. You flash them out, the next moment they have gathered momentum and returned. But this time around, we are mounting that surveillance to ensure that nobody returns to any of the forest reserves again.
And this surveillance is going to be a permanent feature?
Absolutely. It's a feature that would not be deleted. Indeed, it will stay for a very long time until we get to that point where we know that decisively we have dealt with the menace of illegal mining. And this combative measure is also a complementary measure in the sense that there are a lot of other engagements that are ongoing. In fact, I'm speaking to you from outside of the capital anyway, because the sector minister himself is touring some mining communities as we speak. We are in the western region. Engagements are going on with the relevant security couples across all the endemic regions. This is only a part. And so all of that ties into the renewed efforts by governments to deal decisively with the menace of illegal mining.
And finally, last 2 weeks when I spoke to the Ashanti regional minister, he told me that under the new initiative, the regional ministers and the district chief executives in mining areas are to lead this onslaught. Is that what we are witnessing now?
So for every operation of a raid or a swoop, principally, it is the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NAIMOS, that has been granted the clearance to coordinate and supervise it. But you also need the buy-in and the cooperation of the local security establishments, if I have to put it that way. So the regional minister was accurate in that response, that though NAIMOS is leading the entirety of the charge, is going to do it with the relevant regional security coordinating councils as well as those in the districts as well.
And so for the equipment that will be seized, chamfan, excavators, other earth movement equipment, what is the directive?
Well, so you will have heard when the president addressed the press not long ago that some 900 water pumps that had earlier been seized were given to the Ministry of Agri, given to farmers to facilitate their work. For the rest of the other equipment that would be seized, the decision would be taken accordingly. But the decision that to be taken is certainly not for them to return to the illegal miners. Whatever the decision will be, they will not get into the wrongful hands again. That I can assure.
Right, Pakwasi, thank you so much. I wish you the very best in this renewed fight to bring the issue of illegal mining under control. Now, in a related development, the Transport Minister, Joseph Bukari Dipe, today took his turn before the media in a government accountability series. He highlighted his ministry's efforts to track the importation of excavators in the wake of concerns illegal miners are exploiting the system.
Station of earth-moving equipment. To help identify and track equipment owners as part of our efforts to address illegal mining galamsey, the DVLA has intensified the registration of earth-moving equipment. This initiative aims to assign special identification numbers to such machinery, which are then shared with the Minerals Commission to enhance tracking and monitoring. To date, the authority has successfully registered 9,240 earth-moving equipment under this exercise.
So let me take you outside the shores of Ghana because Polish President Karol Nawrocki visited Berlin amid rising tension between Poland and Russia. More than a dozen Russian drones entered Polish airspace from neighboring Ukraine and Belarus last week. Now, several were shot down. Poland urgently needs the help and solidarity of its NATO partners, not at least from Germany. Now, for more on this, we are joined by DW correspondent Hans Brandt in Berlin. Hans, what is Germany doing to assist Poland?
Well, Germany has just announced that it will station additional aircraft, military aircraft in Poland to help bring down drones and missiles. And there are some Patriot air defense systems from Germany that have been stationed in Poland for a couple of years already. And we can assume that there are also military military assistance in the background that is not being announced formally, probably in terms of intelligence, border control, that sort of thing. The two countries really need each other's help. They have an extensive economic relationship, and really they need each other to protect their economies, not least of all.
Now, there are fears that Russia might continue with these military moves beyond Ukraine.
Yes, indeed, there are. In fact, there was a Russian drone that entered Romania in the south of the NATO territory just a couple of days ago. And there are almost daily incidents further in the north around the Baltic Sea with Russian aircraft. And that's really the area where countries such as Latvia and Estonia are especially concerned about Russian aggression because they are such small countries facing such a huge neighbor. After the intrusion of the Russian drones, Poland, as a NATO member, asked for special consultations by NATO, and as a result, NATO has now decided to increase its eastern defense line all the way from the Arctic Circle in the north, where there are Norway and Finland, to the south to the Black Sea and Romania.
Well, despite all the German solidarity, the Polish president is quite critical of Germany. Why?
Well, the background to this is really history, is the Second World War. During the Second World War, Nazi Germany committed a large number of its war crimes, of its atrocities on Polish territory that included the murder of millions of Jews. That was also done in Poland. And of course, tens of thousands of Poles lost their lives, and large parts of Poland were laid to waste. So as a result of this, nationalist populist politicians such as the Polish president continue to demand that Germany should pay reparations for those war crimes 80 years ago. Germany has said that it has a moral responsibility towards Poland to atone for those crimes, but it also says that legally those claims have been laid to rest by a number of treaties that have been signed over the past few decades. But in fact, what the Polish president is doing is not really talking to Germany in this matter, but he's talking to his own supporters in Poland. In the end, he also acknowledges that Germany and Poland really need each other now in the face of Russian aggression.
All right, thank you so much, Hans Brandt, from our partners DWTV in Berlin with that international update. Before we go, the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council, in line with directive issued by the Menchia Palace and as part of the funeral and burial arrangement of the late Asante Hemera, announces the following. And you have to take note, especially if you are in Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi, because of the significance of tomorrow. Identification and uniform. All essential government workers must wear the official service uniform and carry valid identification cards. Use of official vehicles. As much as possible, essential government workers should commute to and from their duty stations in official government vehicles. There's also compliance with movement and restriction. The statement says that all exempted institutions and essential workers are advised to cooperate fully with security personnel and other regulatory agencies enforcing the movement restriction. The Ashanti Regional Security Council appreciate the cooperation, and this is coming from Dr. Frank Amwakohene, the Ashanti Regional Minister. Folks, that's our show for today. For more stories, log on to our website, storiesonmyjoyonline.com. Asante Hemera's burial, wear official uniform. That's the statement I just brought to you. Also coming out at 5 is Business Live. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana, they have reduced the policy rate to 21.5%. Viral video of TikToker jailed 7 months for threats against President Mahama and government officials. Folks, whatever you are up to in the hours ahead, I hope it's profitable. My name is Elton Brobe. Have a good evening and take care.